Welcome to the 359. I'm Joni Salzman.
I'm Alfred Ng.
So, the Samsung phone everyone is curious about is still a ghost, but we know more about a Samsung phone that maybe not everybody's as anticipating. Samsung will show off its Galaxy Note 10 during a flashy Unpacked event on August 7th in Brooklyn. Our Shara Tipkin reported from her sources. Now, that launch isn't for 2 months, so plenty of that can change. But meanwhile, we're still waiting on Samsung's latest ghost. The highly anticipated Samsung Galaxy Fold may actually materialize sometime. It missed its release date in April. We're now deep into June because of screen problems with the review units. Since then, the company hasn't given a release date, but an executive said during a speech Tuesday that the Fold is, quote unquote, ready to hit the markets. So we know that the Note, which should be unveiled in a couple months, doesn't fold. It also is going to be lacking something else that people care about. What have you heard?
Yeah, there's a lot of complaints that it's not going to have a headphone jack. I use a Galaxy S10 currently, and I love that it has a headphone jack. I think there are still a lot of people that really want headphone jacks, and unfortunately, the Note 10 doesn't look like it's going to have one, which is a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people still like their headphone jacks. Like I understand that Bluetooth headphones are convenient, and you don't have to deal with all these wires, but there's definitely a barrier when to that. Also, just from a security perspective, to leave your Bluetooth on at all times is not that secure to do. So
right, yeah. There's also a conundrum straight out of Jurassic Park. CRISPR, the burgeoning gene editing technology that acts like a molecular blade, can be used to resurrect extinct species like the woolly mammoth. But just because we could, does that mean that we should? CRISPR is stoking conversations about this concept of de-extinction, but it raises questions about our responsibilities to species that are endangered right now versus ones that are long gone, and also the ethics of this all. What about this freaks you out the most?
The thing that freaks me out the most is I have this feeling that the moment any extinct creature is brought back, it'll be immediately sold to an extremely rich person for consumption. Right. There's going to be some billionaire out there who's like, yeah, I definitely want to eat a mammoth. And it's just going to fund this whole industry of that, and everything sucks.
Basically.
Yeah.
The world is awful. Okay, moving on. There's a new court case that deals with your car's data privacy. Alfred, what's going on?
Yeah, so this is a case coming out of Georgia Supreme Court. This has been argued since about 2014. I went through the Court of Appeals, and this is the first time it's heard on a grand stage like this. So your car collects a lot of data about you through its black box. That's usually used for crash analysis. So, it knows if your seatbelts were in, it knows how fast you were going, when you were braking, how many people are in your car and things like that.
Right.
But it also serves as the central computer system of your car. So if your car has an infotainment system now, that plays music or makes calls for you, or even a built-in GPS, it goes through that black box. So police officers currently are able to go and download the data off of that black box and get all that personal information about you. They got that information in this Georgia case without a warrant. Now, they say they were doing that for crash analysis, but if you look at the way cars are going now, once you have self-driving cars that have cameras on them, it's not crazy to imagine that these black boxes would also have video feeds. And the idea is to establish a legal precedent now to say that, police officers definitely need a warrant for this kind of information before...
Connected cars make cars
Yeah.
even more computerized.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, for these stories and more, you can check us out on CNET.com. I'm Joni Salzman.
I'm Alfred Ng.
Thanks for listening.
Right on the dot.
All right, and that concludes the recording of the audio podcast. You can subscribe using the links in the description below. Speaking of links in the description below, we do have an announcement to make.
Breath of the Wild 2 is coming soon. Link, baby.
I am excited for that. However, what we're talking about today is there's going to be some changes here in the 359 coming in the near future. First and foremost, we're not going anywhere and we're not drastically changing the formula, but we do want you to know that we have our own channel now. There's a link to that in the description below. I'm going to put that in all the show notes, and then if you're just curious as to where it is, there we go. tiny.cc/dailycharge. We're getting our own YouTube channel, so we can do anything we want on there. That means the legacy episodes can stay online, and we don't have to go and bury them in a playlist. Total free reign.
And it'll be easy to find us, right?
That's very true, yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's good news to everybody. We're also going to be shaking things up a little bit, trying some new things, maybe starting to do some new segments, taking calls. Just excited to get more interactive with the audience, and CNET likes us so much that they gave us our own car to do it in. So yeah, we're going to take that and run with it. So go ahead, hop on over to tiny.cc/dailycharge, subscribe to the YouTube channel there. Starting on July 1st, we're going to be moving the show over there, so you'll no longer find us here on the CNET proper channel. We're going to be at our own Daily Charge YouTube channel, and that's kind of the long and short of it. The title's going to shift eventually, but again, core show stays the same, so no sweat there. But we wanted to get that off our chest. We're excited to finally unveil it, and we look forward to seeing you all over on the new channel. In the meantime, as always, we're going to go ahead and dig into the chat, come up with some questions and comments. First one coming out the gate is from Willie and Maria Hamlin. It says, is there really going to be a 100 megapixel camera? I'm assuming that's in reference to the Samsung announcement.
I mean, all of those details are, like, Samsung's been really tight-lipped about it. Most of it is coming from leaks or rumors and things like that. 100 megapixels, I mean, it doesn't seem that far off. I don't know if that's, like, one camera or, like, 10 different ones that they're going to have.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that seems to be the trend now, where all these, like, high-end phones are basically like, let's put, like, 80 cameras on the back of this phone. So there's a possibility of that, but it's still not, like, anything confirmed.
Gotcha. All right, coming in next, let's take one from Timothy. He says, what price range would the Note fall in? The $1,300 plus range? What do you think?
I think it'll be cheaper than the folding phone, which is like
which is not hard
$2,000.
to do. Right.
But yeah, the Note series has historically cost more than the Galaxy like S10 series, or not S10 series, but the S series.
Yeah.
And if I recall correctly, the S10 was like $1,200 or something like that. And unfortunately, these prices keep going up. I mean, the Note 9 was about $1,000, so I expect it to be around like $1,400.
Yeah, it's following the same trend that other phones have. The prices are going up, and that's part of the reason why smartphone sales haven't been doing as well as they have in the past. People aren't refreshing their device every year because when the prices are getting above $1,000, why?
I am a fan of that trend of people holding on to their phones longer.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of the trend of devices costing a lot more. Like,
I know.
This is the worst trend in phone.
I know, and it goes counter to what the development of pricing and technology should be. As any technology gets better and presumably easier to make, and especially given that the biggest innovation in phones at the moment is going to be the ability to like fold it like a book. The technology should become less expensive for people to get as it becomes more sort of outdated. They're all micro incremental adjustments. So
maybe CRISPR can revive,
revive smartphone sales.
Yeah.
We can dice splice the genes of Samsung,
and
Apple,
make them
and
all
Google.
just cheaper.
Novel thought. All right, let's talk about cars real quick. Do you think video feed from cars will have some sort of DVR feature in the future?
Like DVR?
DVR feature in the future, if I stumbled on that enough.
So like the cameras within the cars would be recording all the footage and storing that video for surveillance maybe, or?
Like any security system, I suppose? I'm not really sure.
So from what I understand right now with car data, especially with like black box systems, so they constantly overwrite the data that's stored. This is just for crash like analysis stuff, and they only really save it permanently when there's like an accident or something like that. But user data and things like that, so like who you've been calling, the music that you've been listening to, that's logged in there for a while because it doesn't take up that much like memory space.
Yeah.
Video footage, I would imagine that gets overwritten like quite a fair amount.
Yeah.
DVR stuff, I don't know how, like, they can extract the file from it, so like you can go back and forth on it if you wanted to. Sorry if I'm not understanding your question correctly, but that's my interpretation of what you're asking.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I think maybe if the question is the idea that as cameras become more integrated to cars, can that footage be stored? And it
It's
sounds,
supposed to be stored.
yeah, but like stored indefinitely. I think that's
No,
the
no,
that's the
yeah,
thing.
no.
That's the like technological hurdle, because these computers aren't designed to be warehouses for
Yeah.
data. They're supposed to be functional warehousing data that's very light, like numbers that you've called and
Yeah.
songs that you played. But like as Alfred pointed out, video is a super heavy kind
mean,
of data to store.
Right now, they're already storing like location history though from like your GPS. So
Right.
that's like one. Like again though, that doesn't take up that much like bandwidth or anything.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. But that's different than like
Video data.
right,
yeah,
like your
that's
car was parked somewhere where the hit and run happened.
There is a chance that with like self-driving cars and 5G that data could be stored on a cloud somewhere.
true. Yeah.
Which some companies already do with
Yeah.
like specifically with like company cars to make sure that like they're
Right.
not doing anything illegal or anything like that. And obviously like police car dashboards, that's not, I don't know if it's like specifically with like the cloud for police dash cams, but that does get stored indefinitely in a lot of places.
Yeah.
One more thing that Roger can brag that 5G will help.
Don't put fuel on that fire. It's already raging
5G,
enough.
5G is the greatest thing in the world, all right, until 6G comes along. So if you talk
swear.
smack about 5G, I'm coming to your house, and I'm going to break a bottle over your phone.
I swear though, like the second 5G becomes truly mass publicly available, they will announce 6G. Okay. First and foremost, Joan, props for making that wonderful Jurassic Park joke. I did catch the
So
whether we
welcome.
should.
You're so welcome.
Thank you. On a more serious note, Commander Trium is asking whether or not carnivores end up consuming mammoths. My question would be more, can someone truly own a genetic code for a mammoth, and whether or not that should be allowed?
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. Or if like
Yeah.
is somebody going to license that, or like how does that work? I would argue that you should not be able to own the genetic code for things in the same way that if I give my genetic data over to like 23andMe or something like that, and there's something in the privacy agreement saying like we own like the rights
Right.
to this, that's insane. Like no company
Right.
should be able to do that. And
Well, in the case of the woolly mammoth, in Rye's story, I think it was Rye that wrote this. Jackson wrote this story. This project to revive the woolly mammoth, that's being spearheaded by researchers at Harvard, I believe. And I believe that a lot of these efforts, not just the woolly mammoth, but I think there's an extinct pigeon that people are trying to revive. A lot of these are led by university-based research teams. So there's less of a likelihood of taking the DNA code for those extinct species that's already been figured out. There's less of a likelihood that could be like subverted and taken into like a private enterprise for licensing and profit if it's based out of like a nonprofit research institution like a university. Although I don't know whether or not Harvard is technically nonprofit, but you get my meaning. It's designed to be an institution of learning, not a proprietary walled garden sort of for-profit place in terms of
until
the
they
research.
sell it to DARPA, which then starts using that to sell war mammoths.
Oh my God,
to
war
other
mammoths!
countries.
Oh, the war mammoths are coming. That's what you should take away from this story.
Yo, y'all remember that show Dino Riders?
That show is awesome.
Bring that back. Let's make that reality.
I'm good, man. Good show, bad reality.
All right, so let's have a little more fun with this because gene splicing is terrifying yet very intriguing. CKT says, bring back the dodo bird and make it a domestic indoor pet. I'm curious, what would you guys bring back with gene splicing?
Oh my God, I don't want to bring back anything.
You should make a version of my dad that's like proud of me.
Oh God.
Like put that gene in him,
Well, so
He's still here. I just want that gene.
you're not double dad. Proud dad, double dad. Well, what I wouldn't really want to bring back anything, and part of the reason is a point that Jackson brings up in his story, which is, I don't know how much I personally subscribe to it, but I think it's valid to ask the question, why should we be dedicating resources to revive a long extinct species, something that was wiped out in an extinction level event millennia ago? When we're dealing with such a catastrophe for our own wildlife right now on our planet, if we have all these
What if
animals that are dying right now, why can't we be devoting those resources
Yeah,
to saving the ones that are already
we
here?
should use CRISPR to bring back the polar ice caps?
I mean, if we could,
yeah,
we should.
use it to
That's not
generate
one
more ice.
we don't need to question whether we should if we could. It's like, if we can, then we should do that.
We may need to in the near future. I mean, look at the situation with honeybees and pollination issues that's coming with them dying off.
I know.
That
It's
might
all
be
scary.
a valuable place to see that, because obviously that is a man-made interference. It's not like true evolution was involved in that. We, as per pretty much everything
Yeah.
that's ever gone wrong in history, screwed it up. I
I
wonder if
mean-
that's a possible silver lining. Is like maybe we could, save our own asses here.
That's the hope, because nobody else is gonna. It's not like an asteroid's gonna land and fix our problem, or aliens are gonna land and fix our problem.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
The
Yeah.
asteroid comes and establishes the new ice age, reversing
Yeah.
global warming.
Yeah. But unfortunately, yeah, ice caps don't have genes, so we'll have to figure out something else.
The asteroids could come and kill all human life, and then
that would solve a problem.
that would, because it would reverse like all the
So the extinction level event could be saved by an extinction level
Yeah.
event.
save the planet.
I mean, everybody and their brother thinks like bringing back a dinosaur would be cool, right? But I want to farm this out to the chat.
Except the people that work on these things. Apparently, if you mention Jurassic Park to the people that are actually working on these projects, they get really annoyed.
I mean, I'm sure they've heard it more than
I
enough.
imagine it's like going to like a robotics like company and like them hearing about the Terminator like all the time.
Anyways, I want to farm out to the chat, see what you guys would think would be fun to bring back or interesting or non-consequential. I don't even really know how to put it. What would you like to see de-extinct? Is that going to have to be... We have to make a new term for that?
It's the term, de-extinction.
De-extinction.
Yeah, it's already here.
Who'd have thought? All right. Here's a couple of questions. One's from Shia. Should I upgrade my Galaxy S9 to the Galaxy Note 9 if I lose the headphone jack?
I mean, it depends if you want the headphone jack or
Yeah.
not. Also,
How much of that is a sell point?
I am a firm believer that if your phone is like good enough, like just keep it. Like
Yeah.
if your phone is like on its last legs and it's like you can't even take it out in the cold, and, or it'll shut off, you might want to get a new phone. I don't know if you want to like spend it on like the highest thing possible, because I'm telling you now, the Note 10 is going to be pretty damn expensive.
Yeah.
And if your S9 is doing pretty well for you, then it's not a bad phone to hold on to. Like I'm using an S10 now, and I know that the S9, I didn't come from the S9, but I jumped from like an S7. I waited like 3 generations before I got like a new phone. And that's because my S7 was like so dead.
Yeah.
But again, also, if the headphone jack is pretty important to you, I would not do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we're at the end of the show. Let's plug one more time. We're moving to a new channel starting on July 1st. Actually, Jan had a question. He says, curious, when you guys get your own channel, will you have longer Q&A? And how about bringing on guests and allowing viewers to ask live questions? All of that is being in the works. We've been kind of keeping it under our hat for a while, that we're going to start shifting things around, just because we want to have some fun with the format, deliver a little bit more. Again, the core doesn't change. We're still going to drop 4 minutes of headlines right out the gate. But we are going to experiment with some segments. We're going to have some external hosted pre-tape segments. We're going to try to take some calls from you guys, Skype, anything like that. People at desk joining us more frequently, and not just David Katzmeyer, although there will be a lot of David Katzmeyer. So yeah, go ahead, hop on over, tiny.cc/dailycharge. It's our new YouTube channel. Subscribe there, and then we'll see you on July 1st. What are you guys excited about with the new show? Well, it's really not a new show, but the new things we're trying with the old show.
I'm really excited to see how all you guys react to it. I'm really excited to get feedback from viewers and fans about what you like and what you don't like. Because we have ideas about what we think you'd like, but I think it'll be fun to try things out and have it be sort of an evolution with our audience, you know?
Yeah.
Figure out what you guys want to see from us and from CNET.
Yo, it has 25 subscribers already.
Hey! Hey, like and subscribe.
Smash the like.
The power of the internet. It's truly a wonderful thing. Hey, here's another one back to the CRISPR topic before we shut down. Tim Cook, of all names, says bring back Einstein. Now, that's not exactly how it works. Just because they bring back the genes and the potential for someone to be super duper smart and accidentally create the most devastating weapon in history, doesn't mean that they're going to do that all over again. I mean, he'll probably just have the, gorgeous hair if they ever cloned Einstein, but, he could, wind up just being a patent clerk. And that was a meta joke even for me. You got to give me that one.
Thank you for watching our show, though, Mr. Cook. If you'd like to come on to our new show, Daily Charge, we'd love to have you as a guest. Talking about new iPhone, privacy regulations. Love to hear from you.
Hey.
Also, why bring back Einstein? Okay.
Also, can we talk about the headphone jack?
Speaking of, Michael Brown was wondering, Alfred, he thought that you had the iPhone SE. I thought you did too.
I had the SE for a while. Then that went kaput on me. And then my girlfriend got me an iPhone 6S, which is the most upgraded iPhone you can get with a headphone jack. And then I use an S10 for work because I would never pay for that.
True.
Hey.
All right. And on that note, we are going to shut it down for the day. Thanks, everybody, for hopping on over to the new channel already. We're excited to see where the future brings us. We come a long way from, like, that goofy old purple room that we just set up random webcams in to see experiment with, like, Facebook Live. And now we've got a lovely, loyal audience that we're just looking to grow. So, yeah, thanks for being along for the ride. Thanks for continuing on to the next leg of the journey. And we'll see you over on tiny.cc/dailycharge. Starting on July 1st. Who wants to take us out today?
I can do it. The 359 is available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, FeedBurner, Google Play, Google Podcasts, the Amazon Echo, and CNET.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our new channel launching July 1st, tiny.cc/dailycharge.
I already left a comment on the page where I wrote first. So, sucks to suck, everyone.
Bye!